I'm Yuri and I'm going for a drive in the 2025 Chrysler Grand Caravan, or in the States it's called the Chrysler Grand Voyager. And what this is the base trim Pacifica. So you don't get all of the fancy stuff that you would in a Pacifica. There's not really any options, just like storage containers, floor mats, and color. You get halogens. Get the old style bumper, you get big fat tires on a 17-inch rims, and the Continental recommended tire would be the Cross Contact LX25. Check out the promo, there might be one going on right now by the time this video goes live. You still get a bunch of good features. You get, your reverse camera, which I guess you legally need to get. Sliding doors, standard stow and go, which we will show. Only a black interior, and then you get the old style, right? It doesn't go all the way across like the cool ones. It's still just like normal halogen stuff. Power lift gate. Now let's open the doors and see the cool stuff in here. Automatic doors both sides. I think every single minivan has that. Here you can see we got these stow and go seats. So when we fold all this down, we have so much room. I did box test it myself by packing a ton of video game stuff and collectibles that I have. And I used that to transfer it. Like, I moved 3 huge loads. It was so easy to pack in and out, easy to get from either side, which was fantastic. But then Chrysler also has its own kind of box test. If we pull out these floor mats, we can see we have Chrysler branded storage bins. How cool is that? Maybe only cool if you're into box testing like I am, but it's great because you can put them here, put like water jugs there so stuff doesn't fly around. It's really good. And let me show you how easy the stow and go is, because that's pretty much why you get a minivan. So you can carry people around, which fit comfortably in every row, and to carry junk around. So we pull here, and then we pull this back. Here, and pull it back. Amazing. And let me show you how the front stow and go works. As you can see, we got these floor mats. First thing we need to do, take these out. These are the optional floor mats that you can get on the Grand Caravan or Grand Voyager package. Maybe you'd prefer some tux mat. You know who preferred tux mat? My buddy Joey, who sold me his GTI. He got a Kia Carnival, even though I told him the infotainment's weird. The climate control flips. You should get something normal like this Chrysler, but he really, really liked the Carnival. So he got that, he got used to that, and I got him a set of tux mat to put in there, and he absolutely loves it. I wonder what the tux mats would look like for this. So shout out Tux Mat for still being a big friend of the channel. What we do to stow and go, we pull this up here. This has the optional storage containers down here in your footwell as well. So you can just get the car like this, and then you easily pull this and it is stowed and goed. And then you just gotta get the floor mats around that. And that's how easy it is. Look how much room there is for stuff, and it's so easy to use. One-handed while I'm operating a camera, unreal. All right, back up. Let's get the back seats up and talk about seats and hauling kids around, because the main reason you get a minivan is because you have kids. Nobody who doesn't have kids is interested in a minivan unless you're into like cool van life stuff. And then I think maybe like the Caravan isn't the van life one for you. You probably want like an Odyssey with VTEC, which I will say drives better than this and is much faster, more responsive. And this one, I guess, let's get into how much power it has before the seats, okay? Before the good stuff, before the seats. This bad boy is putting out 287 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque from a 3.6 liter V6 with a 9-speed auto. Is it fast? No, and it sometimes takes a while to get you the speed you need. I've taken enough left turns, floored it, because I'm like, I don't know if I'll have the power, and had wheel chirping off this. All right, so if I drive the Pacifica Grand Caravan around, if I just floor it, let's see how much speed it has. It's definitely dad fast, but the transmission doesn't respond dad fast enough sometimes. So if I take this right turn, you'll hear some tire squeal, because sometimes it just doesn't like get going the way it should. Pretend like I'm making like a left turn and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Like, what's this thing doing squeaking the tires? But yo, comfort-wise, unbelievably comfortable. Maybe it's because of those big fat tires, but I like it. Like, this is a nice chill ride, comfortable ride. There's no seat presets, but there is profiles. But the passenger seat is manual. I don't know if you can set a preset to this through the profiles, or if, since it's a base model, there's like no profiles for or presets for base models. That part I'm confused over. Handling, I mean, normal minivan stuff. Nothing to really hate or love. Just right down the middle. So it's not like the fastest, not like a hybrid, not like a VTEC Odyssey, but it is pretty good. Let's check if we have a dipstick. It's an old Chrysler. I'm pretty sure, 99% sure it will. And up front and center, passes the dipstick test. And the TotalEnergies recommended oil for the Grand Caravan or the Grand Voyager would be the Quartz 9000 Extra Future FGC 0W20. Always follow your manufacturer's recommended guidelines. Also, shout out the name Voyager. My dad had a Plymouth Voyager 93. I grew up on that. That was the first car that I was driving around all my friends in. So I'm attached to that, kind of. And I guess they brought back Grand Caravan, the name, or both names, so that they could be like, this is the longest running, selling minivan of all time in our country. Which makes sense, you know, marketing be marketing. You gotta do what you gotta do. Let's get into the seats. This seat here, I got the harness to booster from Britax to replace my poplar because my kid is getting bigger. So she's got the armrests now and everything. Fits here perfectly. The poplar was like so-so because these aren't removable headrests, and the poplar doesn't always fit with non-removable headrests. So shout out that. And then I also had the Willow Grove SC travel kit kind of thing with the base for my 7-month-old, and I had it right here and then my other kid in the back so that my wife could sit here and kind of keep an eye on both of them. These seats, by the way, do not move forward or back. They are where they are. They do tilt back here, and if you put a baby seat here, you can, or a base here, you can tilt it forward to get to the back. So then if I was to road trip this like I did with the Expedition, I guess what I'd do is have my older kid in the back, fold down the seats next to her, put my wife in the middle next to the baby, put the dog in the front or in the middle with my wife, I guess, on the floor. Then I could pack a bunch of stuff in the passenger seat and the passenger footwell, and then stuff behind my toddler and in the very back. I wouldn't be able to overpack, but I think I could just get enough in there and not have to have a gigantic SUV that's built for towing 9,600 pounds, right? I could make this work for road trips. But my stepbrother is having a baby, so I'm giving him the whole Willow Grove travel kit for his baby, and I'm using the Poplar S for rear facing, and my wife absolutely loves the amount of room and comfort in this, especially compared to the Expedition Max, because that's what I had for that road trip. 3-in-1 row. This also works great, and it's not as big of a gigantic vehicle. It's just nice to see how comfortable it is later. Let's get into the very back at 5'8". Like, I fit in the middle comfortably. I've got a bunch of leg room. Even behind all the seats, I have a ton of leg room. I got nice cup holders and everything. No USB in the back of this one. We don't have any USB back here. We got cup holders down here if you're in this row, and we got standard baby shades with the buttons that close the door, which is great to have because that Expedition didn't even have that. Rear climate, which works really well, and you can also control it from the front there. This is obviously not the legroom I have because this is for stow and go. And then from back here, you can also open this up and slide that back for more cup holders, more storage, more Hot Wheels. Shout out Hot Wheels. Yo, they gave me some cool kits, so I made some videos on my Yuri channel. Didn't really get many views, so maybe I'll show some slow-mo stuff here. But shout out Hot Wheels for sending me some stuff for me and my kid to play with. By the way, does anyone else love just getting Hot Wheels with normal paint jobs? Like, you give me weird pinstriping or stripes, I won't buy it. Standard color that a normal car would come in, for sure. But I mean, I'm an adult, and Hot Wheels are for kids, so I'm sure they like stuff that's like a wagon with wheels and like hot rod flames and stuff. And the only color you get for the interior in this one is black, which I guess makes sense because this is like, they probably made this so that there weren't options to order, so they could just put a bunch on dealership lots and not have to worry about ordering. Because I know ordering a Sienna and ordering an Odyssey can take like a year sometimes. Oh, I guess another thing I noticed that I should point out, we got grocery bag hangers in the back. There is no lock button when you're closing it. And then back here, we only have this power. We don't have like proper AC power. Okay, let me move my seat back. We have amazing lumbar support, up, down, forward, and back, and a little umbrella holder, which I'm not gonna use, and unreal armrests so that when you're driving, you can have your arms so comfortably on the steering wheel, and then this here as an armrest, elbow rest as well, which the Expedition was not nearly as comfortable for your elbows resting. All right, let's kill this. Show you some stuff from outside. Since this is kind of the base trim Pacifica, the mirrors do not fold. To lock it, we have to click this button, which I'm okay with because my Mazda's like that too. You click it once, just a noise and honking. And when you click to lock it, just a honk. No digital noise, and you see a light go on, but it's hard to tell if it's closed or not because you can also like open the trunk and the car was locked, right? So when I close the trunk, take the key out of my pocket, leave it right here, will it still be locked? No, see, it unlocks it. One of the features I just really like to pay for is to know whether my car is locked or not. But what's nice is that to open it, all you need to do is put your hand in here and it automatically opens. You don't actually have to click that button. Starting it up, push to start, good standard stuff. Steering wheel is nice and normal. We've got window buttons. Everything is nice and normal here. Adjustable mirrors. You got your headlight buttons, which, you know, may seem normal, but a lot of new cars don't have that. Tons of storage here. I can throw my fanny pack or whatever I need to right there. It works great. I got 2 cup holders here that are nice. Little storage there. Little storage for a phone here. Storage for a phone right here as well. More storage here. And then I've got this little thing here which can fit coins. Coins, who uses coins? Not me, but it's cool to have. And then you also get all your old minivans on the graphics right here, and then more power that only works when you got a key connected to it. Awesome, awesome, awesome possum. Inside, we got the 10-point-something inch infotainment, and we've got analog on the sides, digital in the middle. We can see our speedo, and it shows every single digit, unlike a new Dodge Charger, which skips digits. How is the Pacifica gauge cluster better than Charger? I don't know. And with the buttons on our steering wheel, we can go through and see all the info. If we go to trip, we'll see what we've been getting. There. I've driven this 276 kilometers, and I've gotten 13.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is okay because it's pretty much all city that I've been doing. Maybe a hybrid would be better for fuel economy. You know, whatever. It is what it is. And let's see. Let's go back to our speedometer, which is the best layout. Here, if we go to our infotainment screen, we have Apple CarPlay wired and wireless. So let me get my wire out. Hot Wheels also sent me a bunch of the F1 Hot Wheels, and I tested them out on my old F1 tracks because I've got a bunch of Hot Wheels tracks. And they actually worked really well on that, so I filmed some 6 slow-mos with that. Shout out Hot Wheels and Mattel. I really just want to stay in Hot Wheels good books, so rack up the views on what I showed you here, and then I can keep getting Hot Wheels in the future. And when I get some more time, once my kids are a little older and I don't have to watch them all day, then maybe I can actually film some more Hot Wheels videos and play with them. Okay, wired CarPlay, USB and USB-C, and since it's a Chrysler, when I plug in my phone, it is going to boot up instantly. And even the first time, I didn't have to do anything to get it to boot up. It just booted up right away. Okay, right away. And it's fluid enough. The whole infotainment screen is pretty good. It's not laggy or anything, not too laggy. I mean, if you click vehicle, it takes a second, and actually nothing shows up for controls. It's all in settings, which is super weird. And in here, you got your safety and driving assist, which you can change. You got your blind spot monitoring. You've got lane departure assist, which is a hard button for right here. We also have the auto start stop off button, but I found it so unintrusive that I didn't even realize that it was there, especially in a minivan. Like, you're just kind of zoned out driving your kids around safely, which is nice. You're not speed racing unless you got the VTEC van. A rear park assist, rear brake assist. It does work. It works a little too good sometimes, but it does recognize curbs, which is nice. In my findings, that it'll beep when you get too close to a curb and not just like a wall. But I did find that the adaptive cruise was absolutely useless. Like, the tuning of it, it was like, my head was shaking like crazy. I could not use this at all. It might just be this unit, or hopefully, I don't know. It was bad, the adaptive cruise. What else are we doing? If we go to media, we got our Sirius XM, which works great. The sound system is awesome. It's not branded or anything. I don't see anything on these speakers, but to my ears, it sounds fantastic, and you can replay your stuff because we do have rewinding satellite radio. You can set your presets there. It is not confusing at all. Look, we even have a tuning knob. Like, this is the perfect amount of oldness, I think. I love it. Then we can get a couple shortcuts there. We got our comfort. So we only have heated seats, heated steering wheel, no ventilated in this, and then we can adjust the rear as well. Then I guess if we go to the back and look real quick, no option for the screens that pop out, which I understand since it's a Grand Caravan and not a Pacifica, but I really like that. And then it is kind of dark in here with no sunroof or anything. However, that is great for kids napping. That's what you got to think. Kids napping. Once the kid's napping, you got to keep them napping. Shout out baby shades and no sunroof. So since this is also not a Pacifica, we only have a reverse camera. Low quality, you know, normal Chrysler stuff, but I really want a 360 camera. So I feel like I had to park and I had to drive forward and I needed to get close to the guy in front of me because there was no room to park. And I had to get out and look twice just to make sure. Just give me the 360 camera no matter how much it costs, because if I have to do that like 30 times in a year or whatever, I would rather just pay that extra money, even if it's like a couple thousands of dollars to get all the other stuff too. But something you don't need to pay for with the key fob, we have remote start. Perfect. And then you can control the seats and stuff, or the doors, I mean, from here. And you also have child locks built into the doors too. Normal mirror, like super normal. And then up here we have this little convex mirror so you can see what's going on in the back. However, it is like so hard to see what's really going on back there. So like it's not like super useful. And then the Pacifica has that camera in there that can see a rear facing child, which I would kind of actually really like to have. So it's another reason for me to go to Pacifica. But I think this car is really just like everything you really need to get by if you're desperate to get a minivan and you want to go to the dealership to pick up a minivan that's like on the lot that doesn't have to be optioned, take a while to get there. It's kind of perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's like pretty good. Reliability, I don't really know. People say a lot about Chrysler. I would, get a warranty. I think you'd be fine. I'd be happy with it. How bad could it be? This is front wheel drive only, so it's not going to be like that confusing, right? Right? I don't know. And now let's get to the price. This one costs $49,108 Canadian. With the little options that it has, the red paint and the storage stuff. I feel like that's a pretty all right price for these. Maybe it's a little too much. Maybe just buy a used one on tsp.truecar.com. I am actually talking to a dealership right now about trading in my Plymouth Prowler to get a Pacifica S, a used one, because I need a minivan for my family and my dog and stuff. And I know it kind of sucks, but sometimes you just need to give up your cool car to get a minivan or an SUV. Like when I gave up my 240SX, I bought a Honda Element. That Honda Element allowed me to do well in the film industry, which allowed me to become a car reviewer, which allowed me to have this job and be who I am now. So maybe selling my Prowler will allow me to better raise my family, do more cool stuff, and in 10 years I'll be at a whole nother level because I got a minivan instead of keeping my Prowler. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Let me know what you think about minivans. What minivan should I get? I'm probably gonna get a Pacifica S Pinnacle, I think. Steve, hopefully it all worked out. I'll let you guys know. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing.